Hello again and welcome to this edition of Charge Fast Break on the Rock Entertainment Sports Network. I'm Scott Zarilla. Glad you are with us. Coming up on today's show, recently some players went and visited some young children at Cleveland Clinic Children's. We'll teach you how to be a better rebounder with Nae'Qwan Tomlin, and we'll go one-on-one with JT Thor, a two-way forward for the Cavaliers. But as always at this time, we like to tell you everything you need to know about the Charge on the floor, as well as everything going on around the NBA G League. And we begin with a couple of monster individual performances. Nae'Qwan Tomlin had a couple of games for the ages recently, posting a 34-point, 19-rebound game against the College Park Skyhawks that included 9 offensive rebounds plus 5 three-pointers made. Both the points and rebounds were Charge individual single-game highs this season. Nae'Qwan then followed that up with the first 20-20 game for a Charge player since November 9th of 2019, when Dean Wade totaled a 23-point, 20-rebound effort against Lakeland when he scored 21 points while pulling down 20 rebounds, 8 on the offensive glass at Delaware. Not to be outdone, how about the recent stretch from Darius Brown II? All Darius did was post a 19-point, 9-rebound, 10-assist, 5-steal effort against the Skyhawks. He then followed that up with a 26-point, 9-assist game versus Motor City, a 22-point, 6-3-ball game at Delaware in Game 1, only to top that with a career-high 33-point game in Game 2 versus the Coats, in which he drilled 8 of 10 threes, including 6 in the third quarter to help rally the Charge from a 20-point deficit to a 12-point victory. Quite the stretch from those two guys. And in roster news, Zaire Smith returned to the team following a 7-game absence due to personal reasons. And with that, it's time to take you around the NBA G League, where it was announced that Denver Nugget two-way guard Trey Alexander has been named the most recent player of the week when he averaged 34 points and 5 assists to lead the Grand Rapids Gold to a 2-0 record. And with that, let's take a look at the most recent top 10 plays in the NBA G League.
Greg Brown and Sean Nix about ready to come in for their respective teams.
The Vipers a chance to cut the deficit to single digits. They trailed by as many as 18 as Noel puts up a 3-bomb and nailed it. How about that? 4 minutes left before halftime. Vipers down by 8. You're watching NBA G League basketball.
Jack Golke thought about it. That pass is broken up. Stevenson behind the back. Capital City. Enjoying that, and there's not a.
And Kinsey beats everyone down the floor with the reverse.
He's been showing that handle a little bit, crossing guys, opening up defenders, and bursting into the lane.
These newcomers have had to play a larger part as Manley delivers the flush, and Noah's passed that through his legs again last time out. If you have them at the disposal, your guys are inevitably going to get pretty tired. Look at Isak.
Beautiful pass, Isak.
Santa Cruz gets a little fortunate there.
And I think Nicholas Kerr was very close to calling timeout. And is that an and one? It was so loud I couldn't hear if there was a whistle.
It was, and it was the biggest chin-up I've ever seen. Look at this. That is powerful.
Rui going right at Omarui and somehow scores. I don't think I've ever seen a guy
I've never seen that before.
This redefines
look
a
at
circus
this.
shot.
Look at that. Oh my, that's impressive. Wow, that has to be on a highlight tape somewhere.
I agree, and I think the points in the paint is what really impresses me for the Stockton.
Oh my goodness, Philip Wheeler. Let's take a look at Philip Wheeler in the attack mode. Just vicious, the confidence. Isaac Jones.
The Nets fall asleep on the defensive end. An easy layup for Chandler. Here's Brissett to try to beat the buzzer, and he does. O'Shea Brissett, a memorable 15 seconds for the NBA champ.
They wanted a foul, they don't get it. Now they need to stop, but they can't.
Oh my
stop
goodness!
Sebron.
What?
Woo!
Oh my!
That was nasty. Wow.
That was unreal.
James walking into the front court. Lakers down by 2. James down the paint. Ronnie James. Now how about this dunk, AC?
Yes, we talked about that in the first half. He will go upstairs, folks. He is air traffic controlled, okay? And yes, can you believe what?
Well, we need to take our first timeout of the show, but when we come back, we're going to sit down and go one-on-one with Cavaliers two-way forward JT Thor. That's coming up next. This is Charge Fast Break on the Rock Entertainment Sports Network. Welcome back to Charge Fast Break. I'm Scott Zarilla, and it is a real pleasure to welcome in Cavaliers two-way forward JT Thor. JT, thanks for joining me.
Thank you.
All right, JT, first and foremost, for our fans trying to get to know you, what does JT stand for?
Oh, okay, so my first name is Juco.
Okay.
Juco, and then my last name is Thor.
Okay.
So, like, back then, they didn't really know how to pronounce it for some reason. I think it's pretty easy, so I just went with the JT. So,
Sure.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Everybody's got nicknames, and nobody knows why but them.
Right.
Fair enough. So welcome to Cleveland. How have you enjoyed your time so far? Because I know you've been around the leagues off and on here and there. First time in Cleveland, what are you thinking?
Big sports city. A lot of bars, a lot of bar life out there. You know, I'm at the May, so I'm like buy everything.
Oh, yeah.
You know, Cleveland City Tap, that's like my favorite bar so far.
You're new to Cleveland, but you're not new to the NBA. You were the 37th pick back in the 21 draft by the Pistons. You spent some time with the Charlotte organization. What led you to join the Cavaliers organization? Because I know you've had opportunities elsewhere. Yeah. What brings you to Cleveland?
Well, first, I really thought short-term and long-term that it could be a good spot for me, you know, just developing under the guys over here. This is a good playoff team, that they're a lot of experience. They look like they have good direction and good structure, and I feel like that's something that I needed. So I thought this was a great opportunity for me to strike on.
Excellent. Now you've got two new coaches this year, not just one, with Kenny Atkinson with the Cavaliers and Chris Darnell with the Charge. What's the connection you've had with them thus far? What are you learning from them, and how's that been for you thus far?
Oh, it's been great so far. Learning from Kenny, he's a great coach. First of all, that's what I noticed so far. He did coach with the French national team in the Olympics, so he has a lot of experience, you know, even before with Brooklyn. So he's a great coach. And then with CD, you know, he's kind of cutthroat too. So it's like I come from cutthroat. Coach is kind of like Bruce Pearl.
Yeah.
Even my coaches from Alaska, you know, that's like the type of vibes that I like. So those guys are gonna be great for me, I feel like. Those are some good names there for coaches for sure. So now, as a two-way player, you're going to spend time with the Cavaliers and with the Charge. Your minutes will be probably somewhat off and on with the Cavaliers, of course, because they're just loaded up front. Your experience playing with guys like Donovan Mitchell and Darius Garland and all those guys, how has that helped your game thus far? It's been helping my game a lot, because they can see things on the floor that I think, like, say I'm like, oh, I got to be ready for this pass, because I don't think they see me, but they do see me, or like a lob, you know. So they kind of play like they got eyes in the back of their head, so you got to be alert. So that's the best thing for me. So just playing with those guys.
Now, as I said, you'll have time off and on with the Cavaliers, which means you'll also have time with me, with the Charge. How much is that going to help your game to be able to implement what you're learning with Donovan and Darius and the rest of the guys, Evan, and then take that down to the Charge and actually get out onto the floor and put it to work?
Well, first of all, I feel like I'm getting just even better just being on the floor with these guys, you know, just their pace, just how they carry themselves on the court and even off the court. So I feel like I've already gotten better. So, you know, just me being here with my presence with the Charge and just learning implementing what I learned from there, it's just going to get me better and just ready for this season.
So fans that are watching this might say, where do I know the name JT Thor from? Oh, that's right, the Olympics. He played for South Sudan. Yeah. Talk about that experience, because South Sudan just gave everybody a scare, including the United States. How great of an experience was that for you, and how much did it mean to the people of South Sudan?
Oh, it meant the world just for the people of South Sudan, you know, like, because the way the world sees South Sudan is a lot of, you know, just war and a lot of other stuff going on. So to be in the Olympics was like a good light to shine on, and people could see us as basketball as like a, you know,
sure,
a positive light for us. Yeah. So that was just great. So
now you're from Anchorage when I first talked to you. You said you're from Anchorage. Can I say I'm from Anchorage? I said, of course you can. There have been some good players out of Anchorage, Alaska. Carlos Boozer and Trajan Langdon, just to name a few, drafted by the Cavaliers. What does it mean to you to kind of represent a place where, let's be honest, not everybody thinks of for basketball hotbeds?
Oh, it means a lot, because it's so rare that guys get out of Alaska. So it's like when you make it out of Anchorage, Alaska, you're like, okay, this guy worked for it, Even Marla Chalmers was there. Marla Chalmers was a great point guard out of Kansas, So it means a lot, for real.
So as a rookie, what kind of goals do you have set for yourself this year? Again, I know everybody would like to average 30 points and 10 rebounds. That's pretty unrealistic for basically everybody, but what are you trying to get accomplished this year with the Cavaliers?
Well, the main thing is just keep improving and learning from the guys in front of me, like Ev and Jared. So when my name is called, I'm ready to go and contribute on the main team immediately. So that's all I'm trying to do, just improve. You mentioned Jarrett, you mentioned Evan. How much better did you get after, 2 or 3 practices with them? I can imagine your game just went from here to there. It did. It's just my alertness, just being ready, just being physical, just being ready for those guys. It definitely just improves me, Well, it sounds good. And JT, yeah. Well, looking forward to seeing you both out on the floor with the Cavaliers and with me with the Charge. So thank you for the time as always. And best of luck this year. Looking forward to just hanging out and having some fun and seeing you play some good basketball. Thank you for having me. Appreciate you. That's JT Thor. Let's take a timeout. When we come back, we'll have more of Charge Fast Break after this timeout on the Rock Entertainment Sports Network. And welcome back to Charge Fast Break. I'm Scott Zarilla. Glad you are with us. Now, we all know how important scoring and defense is in basketball, but maybe the one that gets a little lost in the shuffle is rebounding. And somebody to help us with that, Nae'Qwan Tomlin, who had a 19 rebound game not too long ago. Let's talk about that first. Have you ever had more than 19 rebounds in a game? Because that is your career high with the Charge. Have you ever had more than that in college or in high school or anything?
No, never. I think the most I got was 15.
That's nothing wrong with 15. And 9 offensive rebounds out of the 19. That's really impressive.
Yes, sir.
When did you know that I'm on the glass getting a lot of these offensive shots?
I think in the first quarter, I think I had 8 and 6. Our coach was like, damn, you got a lot of boards in the first quarter. So I think that's when they just told me to stay on the glass. And that's what I did. And you did. So I said at the top how important it is, along with scoring and defense, of course, rebounding. And you're a big man. You're a part of that. Why is rebounding so important to a team's success? It's important because it gives your team, second chance opportunities to, score again, and limit the other team from, getting offensive rebounds and things like that. And something else is kind of a skill, Nae'Qwan, is kind of keeping the ball alive, tipping it up. Not so much for yourself to get the rebound, but giving your teammates another opportunity for a rebound as well, right? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. The tipping really comes from I have a good second jump, so sometimes I tip it, and my second jump would probably be to grab it or even tip it out to my teammate. Okay, now you mentioned a moment ago difference between offense and defensive rebounding, and to help us out is Sam Clancy. And if you're wondering, yes, that is the same Sam Clancy that played at St. Edward's back in the 90s. Sam, come on in here real quick. So let's talk about the differences between offensive and defensive rebounding, because as an offensive rebounder, you're kind of on the outside on offense. So what is the mindset? Come on over here for me, Nae'Qwan. Mm-hmm. What is the mindset when the shot goes up? What are you thinking about when you've got a big man here defending you, trying to get to the glass? What are you thinking? What are you trying to do? So here at the Charge, we tag. So you don't want to be on the low side, because if you're on the low side, if they get the rebound, now you're trailing. So what we try to do is, try to get a rebound from the high side. If we do, then we can kick out or, limit them from transition. Now, it applies to both offensive and defensive rebounding, but, the great Dennis Rodman always used to talk about kind of the flight of the ball. Mm-hmm. It's not easy to figure out where you think it's going to come, but there are some kind of ideas, right? Depending upon where the shot goes, where it's going to come. Are you thinking about that right out of the gate? Yeah, most definitely. The majority of the time, sometimes if the shot comes from the corner, it's most likely going to end up on the opposite corner, unless it's short and it's going right back to the same side, or if it's back rim and it's going to the front. So sometimes you can read it sometimes. Okay, now you also said that how you don't want to trail for the rebound, but when you're coming in,
and the defender is here. What are you trying to do to get around him? Because I think maybe something that isn't brought up enough with rebounding is footwork.
Right.
Because you got to get around a guy, and Sam's a big guy right here, and you deal with a lot of those guys in the league. What are you thinking about when you start coming into the glass?
Sometimes I even try to hit them with like a double move, get them to go that way and come around. Or sometimes guys just ball watch. They don't even see where you're going. So I really just run around them and try to, get a tip.
So there's something mental about rebounding as well, not just the physical, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. Now let's switch it over to defense. Now you're defending Sam. The shot goes up. What is your first thought?
My first thing is to check to see if he's crashing. And if he is crashing, then I'm going to go hit.
You're going to hit him high.
Yeah.
Okay, why hit him like that?
Well,
is it to slow his,
slow
his
him
momentum
down
type
and
of
then,
thing?
get low, put my body on them, and try to get the rebound.
One thing that I, even as a guard, was taught when I was rebounding as a kid was the low base, get yourself nice and strong. Give us a nice little show what you would do with Sam. Okay. How about the arms and the elbows as well?
Right here. Ball right here, elbow right here. As the ball goes up, I'm already in that position to where I can just jump and go get it.
It's funny because I see you reaching with two hands.
Yes, sir.
Now, sometimes you can rebound with two hands, sometimes you have to rebound with one.
Right.
Does it matter? Are you coached specifically to rebound a specific way?
Definitely with two hands.
Always with two hands. Why exactly is that?
Because just, security, you grab it, hitting on arms, I'm able to, pivot and grab it, so yeah.
I don't know who's back there. Oh, we got Jacob Gear, the guy that does about steals. He's not a bad rebounder though, so that's quite all right. All right, real quick before we wrap things up, Nae'Qwan, any little tricks that maybe, again, I've heard players talk about it over the years, that maybe grabbing a little jersey or kind of doing a little something here and there, a little arm wrap. Thank you, Sam. Little elbow wrap. What kind of little tricks do you do?
Tricks.
Nobody's going to see this, so it's okay.
Right.
At least no officials will be watching this.
I mean, sometimes I might give somebody a little push, to stop. Like, if I know the ball's coming this way, I push them just so I can release and go get it. Something small that, the refs can't really see.
All right, well, Nae'Qwan, as we get ready.
Next time, just grab the pants like this. He's still young, you don't know.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, give us another trick there, Sam. Again, you were a terrific rebounder.
Like this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anything you're doing down here because the refs don't see, grabbing and holding, all that's fair game when you're rebounding in the trenches.
That's a great point, and I want you to follow up. Either one of you can follow up with this, because there is something to be said. It's in the NFL too. You can get away with things if you also know where the officials are at, right? Are you aware of where the officials are when you are rebounding sometimes?
I'm still learning. So
okay, all right.
That's why you got guys like him.
That's why you got guys like that.
When you're in a tight space in the paint, the officials can't see everything in here, so you can get away with stuff as opposed to holding a guy on the open floor where they can see you. So you can get away and grabbing a guy's jersey in here because they can't see that.
Okay.
If you do it out there, they'll see it, obviously. So when you're down here, you got a few tricks you got to use your advantage.
That's exactly where we're going with that. So it's perfect that we have assistant coach Sam Clancy helping us out, because the wily veteran, again, remember him back at St. Ed's, also played at USA, played overseas, played a lot of professional basketball. So yeah, got a couple gray hairs, kind of tells you a little bit about his experience as well. Before we wrap things up, so what would you say would be a couple of the number one keys for the young viewers out there that are trying to become better rebounders? What would you tell them?
Just always getting in a low stance, always trying to engage the contact, and just always have two hands up.
And work hard? Because it takes a lot of hard work, doesn't it?
Definitely.
Nae'Qwan, appreciate it. 19 rebounds from this man not too long ago. All right, we need to take a timeout. This is Charge Fast Break. We've got more coming up next on the Rock Entertainment Sports Network. Thanks, guys.
What do you like to do that you get to do?
What do you like to do?
Whoa, what's down like to do for fun? Get around the boat.
Well, as you can see, it was a very special time for the players visiting with all of the children. Something else that took place at a recent Charge game at Cleveland Public Hall, it was Cleveland Clinic Children's Day, where the players wore uniforms designed and inspired by some of those children as well. Let's take a look at that. Well, that's going to do it for this edition of Charge Fast Break on the Rock Entertainment Sports Network. Until next time, I'm Scott Zarilla. Thanks so much for watching.